All right, guys, this is the quick review on the Whistler TRX-1 and the Unication G4. I got the Whistler. I haven't had a scanner in years and years and years. And I'm in Saginaw County, Michigan. So we have that P25 simulcast trunking system. And I thought it was different from a standard frequency. I understand the concept that you have a few channels, that are shared using talk groups instead. So you can have multiple talk groups per couple channels, and they kind of share them and so forth. And it's a pretty advanced system. I heard Michigan's was really good. I mean, it's a really nice system, but it's more complicated than the old school. Just put in a frequency and you're all set. So that being said, my choice was between the Bearcat BCD 436 HP and this guy, the Whistler TRX-1. And really what it came down to was the TRX-1 was a couple years newer, so I figured, latest and greatest. The problem, little did I know, that those simulcast systems, they claim they're very hard to pick up. It really depends on where you're at. So I'm going to show you how it picks up on this. Now, I've talked to Whistler support. Everything's programmed right. Everything's set. It's just these work better at night. It's 6 o'clock right now, 6 p.m. So let's turn it on and see what we get. And this is a really, really nice, I guess I got to hold it a little bit. This is a really well-made system. The scanner itself, as you can see in here, is pretty thin, pretty small. This is like almost like an OtterBox. It's a rubbery case. This hard plastic unit, there's a green insert also. I put the gray one in, and there's a belt clip that goes on it. But all in all, you can see it's not that big of a unit. So here we are picking up something. I'll use. I'm going to add all my talk groups. What I have is I have county police on bank 1, admin on bank 2, fire on bank 4, I think bank 3 I have city PD, and you can kind of hear how that's garbled. You can barely hear it.
Open door 3780 max.
Let you hear that. It's very garbled. I'm surprised it's actually picking up. Usually it just misses. It doesn't pick up. I have to hold the antenna, bend it, do some things, point it. It's very difficult to pick things up with this. It really is. I went on the forums and I said, I asked the question, gee, how can we make this work? And I was told there's all kind of antenna tricks, coat wire hanger, paper clip, route it to a coffee can with all kind of crazy things, right? I just wanted something that would work. And at some point somebody said, that you really can't pick up those systems unless you have unless you have an expensive radio or like a G4, G5 pager. And so I was like, what is that? And I did research and I came up with it's designed as a fire/medical pager. And I'll turn this guy on. This is commercial grade. It's small, light. Everything's made really well. It's supposed to be waterproof for up to 30 feet at 30 minutes or some crazy thing like that. A stubby little antenna, and the reception on this is phenomenal. Now the big complaint, what they say is this is not a normal scanner. Okay, it does scan. Instead of having software banks 1, 2, 3, 4, X amount of channels in bank 1, set to PD, a whole bunch under fire, set to bank 4 or whatever. This has a knob 1 through 8, and that's kind of your bank. So it's almost like if you ever used a actual police radio or fire radio, it's similar. Like if you're talking on a police radio and they say, around here anyway, if they say go to lean, they just turn it to lean, and then they're talking on, then they can transmit that way. So this is similar, and it can function as a scanner if you set it up properly, but it's not a true scanner, meaning that it doesn't have delay, which for me it didn't really matter. It doesn't have lockout, so you can't, you know, if you're hearing something and somebody else comes across, you can't just temporarily lock that out. And that's the biggest complaint. But depending how creative you set up your banks 1 through 8 or your channels 1 through 8, you can make it function similar to a scanner, but more it's like a police actual radio, which to me was better. Okay, so I'll turn this guy on, and it has to boot up a little bit. This has voice recording and all kind of crazy stuff. So the way I have this set up, and we'll see if they start picking up something right away, I have channel 1 is set to pretty much scan everything. Okay, if I go over to 2, that's scanning just dispatch, police and fire. Okay, not car to car or anything, strictly police dispatch, fire dispatch. This is just police dispatch only, or primary. If you're familiar with police lingo around here, it'd be like county primary. Number 4 is just lean, police lean traffic. Number 5 is PTAC. That's all your tactical police channels. You'll hear them on primary or main dispatch. They'll go to a scene and work something, and they'll say, you know, contact me on PTAC 4. And then what they do in the police radios is they just switch to PTAC channel, so you can kind of do the same effect on this here. The next one over is Saginaw City. I don't live in the city, so I don't really want to hear city traffic, but I have it in case. Next one over is fire. I didn't put the paging in there because it comes across regular fire dispatch, but I do have operations in there, so if they're working a fire, I'll get all the ops for it. And the last one, 8, is medical. That's all your ambulance to hospital traffic. Okay, so I'll go back to 1, which is just my normal scan that scans everything, and we'll see if we pick something up. It's like watching paint dry, sitting here waiting, but it shouldn't be long. It is Friday.
256 of us.
There, they both picked up.
Okay.
Wish I could separate it and let you guys see it. I'm actually surprised the Whistler is doing very good. Usually it must be this location that I'm filming, that I'm recording this, because usually this guy does not pick up at all. But hopefully it'll get busy in a little bit, and I'll show you it should. If not, we'll pause it, and I'll come back later when I know traffic will be heavy this evening. As far as the size difference, this is pretty heavy. This is a lot lighter, obviously. They both feel good. This belt clip, you can remove it also. Let's see if I can get it off and show you. It's on there. There you go. So size-wise, to get a good comparison, that's what they look like from here. Let the light hit it. Different angles here. And
619 checking. 619.
what's it look like on top?
134 till 06. Morning. Copy.
And to show you the difference, let me turn down this a lot so we can just focus on this guy there. Now listen. See if you can
Parking lot of the middle school, Charles Lincoln, Henry 5227.
That was actually great.
Central 3170 South.
That's only coming across the Unication.
Outer north of Holland. It's going to be a Blue Buick 5 Lincoln Union, Victor 2, that's 5LU, Victor 2, where's Victor?
And I wonder if this is picking up better because this is drawing it in somehow, because this normally picks up nothing, absolutely nothing.
Good afternoon, Covenant. This is Paramedic Rogers, currently inbound to your facility with an 81.
Here, if I turn, see, I turned that down. That's not hearing it.
Brought in today with some
This still hears it.
facial numbness, some generalized weakness, and
It's trying to get it yellow. Now, if I turn it down, watch. See, it's locking on, but it just can't display it. This one, rock solid.
Lips. Other than that, she seems to be her normal self. Blood pressure is currently 120/62. Heart rate is 62, showing a sinus rhythm on the monitor. Respiratory rate is 18, non-labored.
Now, if I wanted to hear police and I wasn't tied up with this, I would just switch over to number 2, which is just dispatch. Or I could just switch it to 3, which is just police dispatch. So that's how you get around the lockout scanning. I just switch it to what I want to hear. It's very simple. Very simple.
So you can please take us off tonight. Have a good night.
See, that didn't pick up at all. It's trying, but it's not getting it. I'm going to go back to all. We'll see what we get. I'm surprised there's not a lot more traffic. I probably will amend this video or make a different video later tonight because there will probably be a lot of traffic going on. So, aside from the simulcast this area trunking issues, this is a very, I mean, as far as scanners go, I do like this unit. It's a very, very nice unit. At first, this whole rubber thing, I was like, it adds a lot. But it feels like an OtterBox. You know, it feels grippy. It feels like you can, like a brick, like you can throw it across the room. I mean, it's reinforced bumpers. You can see it's thicker in the corners, kind of like the Unification's kind of that way. Now, this is just one piece. This is all one piece. The only thing that comes off is this here. The Unication, it's got reinforced rubber. It's hard plastic, but this is rubbery. These corners are like reinforced rubber. It feels very commercial grade, but then so does this. This feels really good too.
Central 3170, we move into our lean channel.
See, when these both come on, I'll try to turn this down so you can see how it's not really coming in. It picks it up. Watch. See, it's trying and it can't.
0600, break.
There's traffic on this, but it lights up, but there's no sound coming out of here. See?
You can clear out the GX, you can clear out the give attention, and send me the
See?
2418 California alibi.
Traffic is perfect out of the Unication and just not coming out of the TRX at all. And this is just out of the box. This is the stock antenna, and this is the stock antenna.
232.
All this is out of the Unication only. I'm trying to separate them so you can see. The one thing that I wish that this had,
Child caller with a TX.
see, once again, all this traffic, it's only coming out of the Unication. I wish, turn it down a little bit. I wish this had, there's a slight hiss whenever there's transmission, but it's not bad. You get used to it. The volume of the talking overcomes the hiss. It kind of lets you know that there's traffic going on, so it's really not too bad. The one thing that I will miss is with the scanner, I could program this so police come across as blue. See the blue LED? And if it's fire, I programmed it so it comes across as red. EMS is yellow. And this one, you cannot, there are LEDs up here. I don't know what they mean, but see this one's green. Maybe it just means there's transmission going on. It's trying to get something now. but it's
going
just
at a high
so...
rate of speed and traffic, pulled into the line of gas. On the
It's perfect on this. This guy is absolutely perfect. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's how... I would just think that that's how scanners are. You know, back in the old days, I thought that's how this was going to be. I thought it was just going to work 100%. And it's very bad. And I don't think, not to knock on this, I think this is a phenomenal unit. As far as the scanners out there, it feels solid. I bet on regular frequencies, it just works like a charm. It's just on these trunk simulcast deals, it just, none of them. I heard that the Bearcat, you know, some folks claim, no, the BCD 436 HP is better and it will work better, and other people say, no, they're all the same. And talking to many people, now to be honest and fair, I have never tried that BCD 436 HP from Uniden, but I hear that all consumer scanners in this area for the P25 simulcast system do not do a great job. Okay. Unless you have a gigantic roof antenna or you're pointing towards one tower or just all these extra things. This guy does with this little stubby antenna. This is the 763 to 870 megahertz antenna. Now this is the G4, because everything we have in Saginaw County is kind of on that P25 system, so I only needed the trunk system. The G5 is the same exact unit, except it also has either VHF or UHF frequencies with it, but there's some caveats, like you can't scan them both, I believe, at the same time. You have to either scan one or the other, and a couple different things. But as far as the capabilities, this one has, like, you hit this top button and you can record a memo and voice memos, and obviously it's designed for a fire pager, so you can have there's a lot of pager functions that go along with it that I don't use. I'm using it strictly as a scanner. And as far as how much it can hold, there's 8 knob positions, basically, 8 selectable positions. I'll just call them channels, channel 1 through 8. Each channel, I believe, holds 64 talk groups. And once you fill up, or you have all 8 utilized, that's saved as a zone. And then there's, I don't know the number of them, but I've got just one zone that I named. If you look at it here, that's my zone name, Saginaw County. I could make a zone 2 and fill it up with something totally different, another county, what have you. Then zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. So it holds a ton of because that was one of the concerns, is that, you know, it's 64 talk groups isn't very much and stuff, but it's 64 per channel. And then you've got multiple channels set up per zone, and you can have multiple zones. So you can do a lot. But really it's designed only for that simulcast trunking type of system with the talk groups, that trunk system. It's not a normal regular scanner. Like this one I can do a search. I can do a spectrum sweep or whatever they call it, and just search. This, I believe you can search on this, and you can put in wildcards, and you can do, I think there is a search function, but it's only, and don't quote me on that. I just got this this morning, so I'm very new at this guy. But it doesn't have a lot of the features that a typical consumer scanner does. It does have priority. You can set your, in your channel 1, I think I've got county police primary set as priority, so it will check that every so many seconds, and if there's traffic across that, it will cut off the other traffic. So there's, and there's upgrades and updates happening all the time, and I think they talked about the hold function and some of the other scanner functions that are missing that they're going to probably, what it sounds like, implement. I do know that phase 2 is, right now it just does the phase 1 system, trunking system. Phase 2 is they said definitely upgradable by firmware, and supposedly it's coming. We have a big phase 1 system, so I'm not too worried about it. It'll probably be a few years yet before they go to phase 2. Boy, what else? I don't know. I will add to this video when, like tonight, when there's a lot of traffic, so you can really compare, because there's just not a lot going on right now. But hardware wise, that's kind of what there's USB under here.
16 for Brownsville and Edmond.
USB under here. This is, I don't have it scanning. That there was a rare case where this picked up something and this didn't. That picked up fire. That's a 73 BV admin, which I believe is a fire admin channel. And I don't have those programmed in here at all. So that's why that's picking up something and this isn't. So, I don't know what else to show. Oh, there's buttons here. I have no idea what these do yet. I believe this one is the instant voice record also or something like that. There's another button here. This is not a transceiver. It's just a receiver. The USB is in here. It's USB-C, I believe. Not totally sure on that. I take that back. I don't think it's USB-C. But anyway, that's that. And there's another case. He's doing radio check, so that'll be a good test. I'll turn this down, and we'll just hear this. Hear it? It's just clicking.
552.
There we go. A little bit.
Okay. 3128. Okay. 479.
I'm surprised it's getting that much. That's actually pretty good. I wonder if it's because this other scanner's by it or something, but this is the best that this has done since I've had it.
Sheriff 115.
Now in comparison,
Sheriff 198. Sheriff 18 traffic. Sheriff 18.
that's trying to pick up medical.
6935.
And if I turn this down, it's not quite picking up medical. It was trying, but it wasn't. I bet that medical traffic will come across this one now.
Okay.
There we go.
119 traffic.
I'm going to switch it to medical because I think medical's trying to talk. So I'll switch it to medical and see if we pick up the traffic. When this lights up yellow, this is not getting anything, but
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
there we
You're
go.
broken up.
That's the traffic that this one was trying to get.
Heart rate for me.
Sounds like they got a lot going on.
The heart rate's 80, and she's paced.
See, this is picking it up perfect.
Copy that. Remember,
That's lit up, but it's not picking it up. It's trying. It sees that there's a signal. It just doesn't. It locks on somewhat. It displays no audio. And once again, for the record, I did have Whistler support on the phone. They were tweaking things for me and on the software and so forth. So I'm going to go back to scan. But that's a good example of how I wanted to hear medical, so I just switched it to medical. So you can
2509, I sent you an MDOP report. 2509.
see. So this is for the simulcast trunking system. This thing is awesome out of the box. I programmed it, turned it on, bam, it took off, started working, works phenomenal. I drove to Bay City today, which is a different city. I don't know how many miles away. It's about a 20-minute drive. This was picking up Saginaw from Bay City. Totally fine. The quality was awesome. So, all right, I will add to, that's my mini review so you guys can see the difference. I wanted to put this out there because I know I was looking for, I'm going to turn these off. I was looking for some info on these when I was looking for them, and there is not much out there. There's just a couple videos where they're side by side and they're picking up trunk systems and for a couple seconds, and that's it. So I wanted to give you a little bit better of the size comparison and how they worked and operated. So, all right, thanks.